For decades, humanity has stared into the darkness, searching for answers, where we came from, why we're here, and whether the universe is truly empty or just appears that way. We built machines to push past our limits, to peel back the veil of creation itself. Voyager whispered into the endless void. Hubble showed us time written in light. And now, the James Webb Space Telescope, our most powerful window into the unknown, has witnessed something that should not exist, something that might even be alive. At first, astronomers dismissed it as a glitch, just a faint flicker in the deep field, a tiny shimmer at the farthest edge of the observable universe. But it wasn't noise, it wasn't random, it was pulsing, steady, rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat or a signal. They gave it a straightforward name, 3I Atlas, the third confirmed interstellar object ever to pass through our solar system. But names don't matter when what you're looking at refuses to follow the rules of reality. Because this wasn't acting like a comet or some wandering rock. It was behaving as if something inside it was aware. When Webb locked its infrared instruments onto 3I Atlas, the data came back wrong. The heat signature wasn't reflected sunlight. It was being generated from the inside. It wasn't absorbing energy from the sun. It was producing its own. The pulse was perfectly timed, repeating every 33 seconds. Not the chaotic melting of ice, not the unpredictable effects of solar radiation. Something internal was driving it, something emitting power with machine-like precision. For days, NASA scientists tore through the data, convinced it had to be an error. But the numbers held steady. The temperature shifts weren't random at all. They followed a strict, repeating pattern, almost like an algorithm, almost like a code. Then came the second discovery, one that shattered every assumption. The light spectrum readings revealed narrow, concentrated energy bands. These weren't scattered like starlight. They were clean, focused emissions, controlled, deliberate. The kind we use for communication, the kind that implies intelligence, intention, a message. At first, scientists thought it might be our own signals bouncing back at us. But the inversion pattern was wrong. The frequencies didn't match anything humanity has ever transmitted. It wasn't reflecting our voice. It was speaking before we ever reached out. Teams at NASA and ESA ran the data through Fourier transforms, stripping away cosmic noise and isolating the harmonics. That's when they saw it. Hidden beneath the static, buried in layers of interference, was structure, mathematical repetition too perfect to be natural. A pattern designed, crafted, almost like a whisper carved into chaos. Some experts said it was a beacon. Others argued it looked like telemetry, data meant to be received somewhere else. But the truly disturbing part wasn't the content. It was the consistency. For weeks, the signal never changed, not once. It didn't fluctuate with solar radiation. It didn't react to gravitational distortions. It was steady, relentless, intentional. It felt alive, or like something was trying very hard to pretend it was. Then, everything shifted. On the 43rd day of observation, 3I Atlas suddenly brightened, its luminosity spiking nearly 40% in under 2 minutes. Its thermal output surged, blooming outward like a machine powering up. And then, its path changed. Only by a fraction of a degree at first, but enough to prove one thing. It was no longer following gravity. It was steering. Its trajectory angled subtly toward the inner solar system, not directly at Earth, but close enough that no one could call it coincidence. The precision was unmistakable. Whatever was inside 3I/ATLAS had awakened, and now it was moving with purpose. Inside the Webb Command Center, the atmosphere shifted from wonder to fear. A rock had become a presence. Researchers ran the emissions again, this time with deep spectral decomposition algorithms, the same tools used to detect biosignatures on distant exoplanets. And what they discovered shattered the silence of the room. Inside the object's energy patterns, researchers found fluctuations disturbingly similar to the resonance frequencies seen in living organisms, vibrations that mimic the behavior of cells, not DNA, not proteins, something even more fundamental. The light from 3I Atlas wasn't just bouncing off metal or ice. It was modulating, shifting the way biological tissue does when it reacts to a stimulus. The data pointed toward a single, terrifying possibility. This might not just be a machine. It might be alive. Arguments exploded across scientific disciplines: physicists versus biologists, astronomers versus mathematicians. Could electromagnetic rhythms imitate life without actually being alive? Could it simply be a strange natural phenomenon? The answer came suddenly. Webb detected a flattening of the signal. The pulses stopped. The thermal emissions went cold. But the object didn't slow down. It kept moving, smoothly, deliberately, like a creature holding its breath. Was it hiding? Was it aware of being observed? A chilling hypothesis surfaced. What if it responds to being watched? What if it goes dormant whenever an intelligent species studies it? If that were true, then we weren't the first ones to see it. And then came the shock, much closer to home. Sensors inside the South Atlantic anomaly, the weakest part of Earth's magnetic shield, began picking up ripples. Electromagnetic pulses perfectly matched the fluctuations coming from 3I/ATLAS. It was as if the object and Earth were syncing, two systems resonating across millions of miles. Earth's magnetic field was reacting to it. No comet, asteroid, or interstellar rock has ever done that. There was only one explanation left: some kind of resonance link, a connection. It wasn't just approaching, it was already touching us. Anonymous scientists posted a theory online. What if 3I Atlas wasn't constructed, but born? A conscious intelligence formed not from cells or DNA, but from plasma, magnetism, and stellar energy. Life as an electromagnetic organism, evolving not from biology, but from the physics of stars themselves. If that were true, this wasn't a probe. It was a living being, a creature that travels between galaxies, nesting inside interstellar debris and sleeping until someone notices it. And now, we had noticed. Webb's gravitational measurements revealed something even stranger. Space itself was bending unnaturally around the object. The gravitational lensing didn't match its mass. Something, an unseen mechanism, was manipulating gravity. Theories raced across the scientific world. Was it using gravity as propulsion? If so, this was something far beyond technology or biology, a creature or machine that swims through the fabric of space-time. Then it happened. A piece broke off from the trailing edge of 3I Atlas, small, silent, perfectly geometric. Webb captured it. Smooth planes, sharp 90-degree angles, crystalline symmetry. Nothing in nature forms like that. It gave off no heat, no light, nothing at all. A perfect piece of darkness, like a shadow that refused to fade. Chemical analysis revealed alloys unknown to science, elements with atomic structures beyond our periodic table. This wasn't debris. It was manufactured or grown. The fragment acted like a mirror with no reflection, a watcher that watched back. It moved independently, staying a fixed distance behind the main body as if held on an invisible tether. At that point, the world united its telescopes. Monarch in Hawaii, ALMA in Chile, Keck in California. All of them locked onto 3I Atlas, and what they saw next defied everything they knew. Its rotation wasn't random. Its rotation followed a pattern, timed to mathematical constants. ratios that matched pi, the golden ratio, and prime numbers. It was spinning in code, broadcasting a message through motion, not in language, but in math, the one language shared by every intelligent mind in the universe. Some believed this proved intelligence. Others thought it was ritual, a repeated cycle, a cosmic mantra echoing through infinity. But what the message meant, no one could decipher. NASA's Deep Space Network tried to answer. They transmitted prime sequences, binary pulses, harmonic tones, mathematical greetings designed to show logic and intent. For hours, nothing happened. Then, exactly 1 hour after the last transmission, 3I Atlas adjusted its spin by 0.003 degrees per second, almost impossible to notice. But undeniably deliberate, it heard us, it chose not to reply. Scientists called this conscious non-communication a strategy where silence becomes the loudest answer possible. The implication was terrifying. 3I Atlas wasn't ignoring humanity. It was studying humanity, measuring our curiosity, seeing how far we'd reach before we broke. Old records resurfaced. Archived sky surveys from 1987, 1998, and 2013 showed faint anomalies along the same trajectory the object now traveled. Small distortions dismissed at the time. Each appearance lined up with unexplained radio bursts and gravitational glitches. It had been here before, watching, waiting. If its trajectory was cyclical, then 3I Atlas had been looping through our solar system every few decades, monitoring planetary development, perhaps monitoring us. The object's updated path brought it close to Europa, Jupiter's moon with a vast ocean beneath its frozen crust. After that, it would pass near Enceladus, Saturn's ocean world, two of the most promising places for alien life. Maybe, scientists speculated, Earth was never its goal. Maybe 3I Atlas came for them, to seed them, to awaken something sleeping beneath their ice, because here was the most chilling possibility of all. What if this object wasn't searching for life? What if it was planting it? Ancient myths speak of gods descending from the heavens to create humanity. But what if those weren't myths, but memories? Echoes of past encounters with beings like this. Panspermia suddenly wasn't random scattering, it was intentional delivery. 3I Atlas could be a gardener of galaxies, seeding life, observing its growth, returning to check on its creations. And if that was true, humanity wasn't alone. We were part of its design. As it entered the inner solar system, magnetometers across Earth picked up rhythmic oscillations, triplet pulses like a coded heartbeat resonating through space. They grew stronger, syncing with Earth's geomagnetic cycles. It wasn't broadcasting, it was linking. Aligning with us, communication specialists tried again, sending longer data bursts, mathematical patterns, digital music, even encoded human voices. Still, 3I/ATLAS stayed silent. It drifted closer to Europa, as though acknowledging our attempts, then dismissing them. We were not the focus. Then came the discovery that changed everything. Caltech researchers compared the faint biosignatures in 3I Atlas's tail to Earth's genomic archives. Buried deep in the noise were sequences, not identical but structurally parallel to viral RNA and ancient genetic motifs found in Earth's earliest organisms. The odds of random alignment were essentially zero. Something in 3I Atlas carried biological code compatible with life on Earth, possibly even the origin of it. This wasn't alien biology, it was ancestral biology, the seed from which Earth's life may have grown. We had found our parent or our architect. The implications shattered the boundary between science and faith. If 3I/ATLAS had been here before, if it had spread biological templates across worlds, then humanity might not be native to Earth at all. We could be part of a cycle of creation older than our planet. Webb's final readings showed flickering organic patterns near its trailing edge, structures like spores, dormant yet reactive to light, a delivery system, a carrier of Genesis, and then silence. The object dimmed, its thermal signature dropped, the pulse ceased. Some believed it went into hibernation. Others thought it had completed its mission. Its path now curves beyond Mars toward Jupiter's gravity. If calculations hold, it will pass within Europa's orbit in a matter of months. After that, it may vanish again, for years, decades, centuries. What was it? A living organism? A sentient spacecraft? A messenger of life? Or something beyond all classification? Something that transcends biology, technology, and understanding? One thing is certain. It was aware of us. It saw us notice it, and it answered, not with words, but with silence. A silence that reminded us how small we truly are in the orchestra of the universe. As the world moves on, Webb's data remains available, but some entries were quietly removed, encrypted, classified under labels the public will never see. Officially, 3I Atlas is classified as just another interstellar comet, but inside scientific circles, it's known by a different name, the Listener. Because that's exactly what it did. It listened, it watched, and maybe, just maybe, it judged. Humanity always wanted proof that we weren't alone. Now, we finally have it, but not in the way anyone expected. What if intelligence in the universe doesn't shout across the void, but simply watches from the darkness? What if 3I Atlas isn't unique at all, but one of many, sent across eons to observe, to seed, to remember? If that's true, then every comet, every drifting fragment of rock could be a vessel. And somewhere in the endless night, others might be awakening, just as we've begun to notice them. The James Webb Space Telescope has made one thing clear: the universe isn't empty. It's alive, with purpose, memory, and maybe even intention. And when the universe shows intention, it reveals a beautiful, terrifying truth. We are part of something bigger, something ancient, something that existed long before us and will continue long after we're gone. The real question now is simple. If 3I Atlas has been watching for centuries, what is it waiting for? Maybe it's waiting for us to mature, or maybe it's waiting for permission to begin again. Because sometimes discovery isn't revelation, it's reckoning. As we stare into the cosmic darkness, we're forced to accept something humanity was never prepared for. The dark has been staring back this entire time. People say the universe doesn't keep secrets. It just waits for us to ask the right questions. But what if it's not waiting at all? What if it's simply watching silently, patiently, to see what we do with the knowledge we already have? After the discovery of 3I Atlas, something shifted. Not in the sky, but in us. The world didn't panic. It fell quiet. Science, politics, and faith all collided around a single, unspoken question. What if this isn't the first time life has been delivered to Earth? Ancient stories from every continent speak of messengers from the heavens, fiery chariots, glowing discs, stars that birthed humanity. For centuries, we called them myths. But now, when you compare them to the data, the alignments, the repeating patterns, they sound less like fables and more like memories. Maybe those ancient people weren't imagining gods. Maybe they were describing what they actually saw, fragments of something like 3I Atlas streaking across the skies long before history was written. Caltech's latest analysis pushed Webb's data farther than anyone dared. Scientists isolated repeating genomic harmonics in the biological residue trailing behind the object. These weren't just signs of life. They were instructions, a molecular blueprint capable of triggering the spontaneous formation of prebiotic structures. In other words, life's architecture is encoded in light. They called it photogenic RNA, a sequence that doesn't form through chemistry alone, but through resonance, vibration, energy fields. Imagine a universe where life isn't born, but tuned into existence. If that's true, then 3I/ATLAS isn't just carrying life, it's broadcasting it. Every pulse of light, every magnetic shift. A seed, an activation code meant for planets that have reached the right stage of development. Earth may have once been one of those worlds, an empty stage awaiting its spark. And now, after billions of years, that spark has returned. Not to ignite life, but to examine what it created. Some scientists believe what we're witnessing isn't first contact. It's a biological audit. The gardener returning to check the soil. 3I/ATLAS could be analyzing our atmosphere, our electromagnetic footprint, even the resonant frequencies coming from our own DNA. We think of life as chemical and physical, but what if the universe measures life through vibration, the hum of existence itself? Every living thing emits an electromagnetic frequency. Earth's collective resonance, the Schumann frequency, pulses like a planetary heartbeat. And lately, it's been changing, spiking, shifting, mirroring the same intervals Webb detected from 3I/ATLAS. Coincidence? Or communication on a level we've never imagined? Hidden in the data is another layer. The pulses follow a Fibonacci pattern, the same sequence found in seashells, storms, galaxies, and human DNA. If 3I/ATLAS is broadcasting Fibonacci-coded frequencies, then it might be harmonizing with life itself, as if tuning an entire biosphere like a musical instrument. Some call it coincidence. Others whisper something darker. What if it's preparing us, not for contact, but for transformation? Around the world, high-frequency arrays have detected faint echoes at 8.2 kilohertz, a frequency used in neural brainwaves. Scientists claim it's atmospheric noise, but the patterns match 3I/ATLAS perfectly. Its field isn't interacting only with Earth's magnetic shield. It's brushing against the neurological resonance of life. If consciousness is electromagnetic, and we know it is, then whatever exists inside 3I/ATLAS might not be separate from us. It may already be touching us, shaping us, tuning us. A controversial research paper, quietly withdrawn before publication, suggested an even more disturbing idea. This could be an activation event. The resonance isn't random. It's a key, a trigger, capable of awakening dormant genetic information buried deep in humanity's DNA. They called the hypothesis the recall, a proposal so extreme it ended several careers. But the mathematics was sound. If frequencies can switch genes on or off, then an external field, like the one from 3I/ATLAS, could alter life on a planetary scale, not through invasion, but through evolution. And this is where the fear turns into something far more unsettling, something existential. What if the object didn't come to harm us at all, but to awaken us? What if its purpose is to push life toward its next stage? Maybe this is how the universe grows: intelligence. Not through random chance, but through contact. Not by invasion, but by invitation. We always pictured first contact as bright ships in the sky, or a clear signal from deep space. But what if real contact is quiet? What if it begins inside us, as something ancient stirs in our cells, something older than humanity itself? Meanwhile, the latest readings show the object is slowing down, not because anything is stopping it, but because it wants to. Its energy output has shifted into the range expected for atmospheric entry, not into Earth's atmosphere, but Europa's. NASA's internal projections show it will skim within 1,000 kilometers of Europa's surface. If it releases anything there, biological, energetic, or something we don't even have a name for, it could slip beneath the ice into the Moon's hidden ocean, a place untouched for millions of years. Imagine life waking up there, not accidentally, but intentionally. Humanity might be watching the birth of an entirely new biosphere, one seeded by the same intelligence that may have once touched our own. And maybe that's the real point. 3I/ATLAS might not belong to us, and it might not even care about us. To it, we're just one garden among countless others it has visited across the galaxy. Life, to something like that, might be a kind of art, patterns it paints on world after world. We're just one brushstroke in a masterpiece far larger than we can imagine. Now, as the object drifts out of our reach again, we're left with an uncomfortable truth. Our story might never have been entirely our own. Maybe we were written long ago, by forces or hands we will never truly know. The last transmission from Webb, before the object slipped beyond its visual range, captured a faint flicker, 3 pulses of light, evenly spaced, perfectly timed. Astronomers dismissed it as noise, but for those who've been watching from the beginning, it felt like something different, a signature, a parting message from the dark. We're still here, not a warning, not a threat, just a reminder that in the vast silence of space, something listens, something watches, and maybe, just maybe, something is waiting for us to finally understand.